Today we're going to talk about how to make 100 times more Facebook ads the easier way that converts even better. Let's go. Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. My name is Ricky Hayes, and today we're going to go into the easy way to create a lot more Facebook ads that convert 100 times better. This is a fantastic and very simple strategy. You see a lot of top-end performance marketers do this, and I'm going to be explaining this all. Now, this Google Doc is just a combination of things I've made and put together. It'll be in the description. You can use it as you see fit for a reference point. So, we all want to make more ads, but the problem is making them fast and making them high quality is really a problem. That's why there's a lot of AI UGC apps. That's why there's a lot of products now that are AI video creation, and I am all for it. But there is also a way of doing it where you shouldn't be making new creatives every time. So let's get straight into it. Remember, Facebook ads is a volume game. The more ads you test, the more likely you are to find a winner. And when we talk about a winner, not a product, a winning creative. Most of the time, this is talking about the fact you've already got a winning product and you're looking at scaling it through more ad campaigns and through various ads. So the problem, they don't have enough resources, time, money. It can be very expensive. Historically has. Now, as I said, with AI, tools like CapCut, there's Camtasia, and just using your phone and all the apps and everything, it's very easy to do it these days. But what is the key secret here? Well, you need to focus, as I said, on video ads, right? Images and that are quick and easy. You can do with AI. There's Canva, there's adcreative.ai, there's plenty. Carousels are great. Carousels are great for remarketing. Video ads have high effort, high cost, and a high barrier. But remember, the more difficult something is to do, the better it is, because it's going to mean less competition, right? Most brands don't have in-house capacity to do it, so they either outsource. So that's why I'm going to be teaching you a bit today how you can sort of do it yourself without adding much effort in as a bit of the strategy. So how do I scale my ads without killing time and budget so I can focus on other elements in my business? Well, it really just comes down to don't produce 100 unique videos. You want to produce 2 full ads. Spend the time, 2 ads at least. 1 is not enough. You want to have 2 at least, with a lot of unique hooks, so a visual and verbal. So you want to build a script, immerse yourself in the community that you're in of your ICP, which is your ideal customer profile, right? And touch on all their concerns at the same point. Mix and match hooks in the same base video. And the hook is defined as, we'll get to point 3, as the first 3 seconds. There's so much content out there these days that people are all just going to swipe away, they're going to move on if it doesn't instantly get them. That's why you see, like for instance with YouTube videos, why people have an intro that gets straight to the point, because you want to be clear and you want to get people into the video, because once you get over that hump, then it sort of goes from there. And you find that's just a general thing across any content nowadays, is people move on very quickly. That's just sort of the reality, and it's no different with ads, right? So if you can make it past the first few seconds, your ad is going to dramatically improve its click-through rate, its cost per click, add to carts, so on, cost per purchase, ROAS, makes a dramatic difference. So what you do is ad A versus ad B. So same 57 seconds as an example, but the hook different. The hook is different, right? So most people will see 2 totally different ads, right? Because don't be stressed if the same people see the same ad. Don't be bothered by that. What you want to do is you'll just find distinctively which hook is working best. Okay. An example that I use, he's actually from Melbourne, not far from me. Someone, his name's Sabri, I've forgotten his last name, but he is the CEO of King Kong. He's actually on Shark Tank here in Australia. And I've seen, he's trying to sell his book. And I think it's Sell Like Crazy, I think it's called. And fantastic marketer, absolutely phenomenal. He spends a huge amount of time making these really well-made creatives. You can go check it out on the Facebook ad library. And what I notice is he just now does new hooks. He brings up new hooks, the same creative, and then he does a 15-30 second new hook. I've found for him, not 3 seconds, but fundamentally it's the exact same strategy, and it works time and time again. You see comments on it. People actually are like saying, this is the best ad I've ever seen. And that's just an example of he's just using the same creative he spent a long time to work on, to then use hooks that take then a fraction of the time to keep it moving forward, because all ads get ad fatigue, right? So it's just really important that you sort of understand that. And I'm going to go further into this. So understanding your hook rate, okay? So hook rate is the percentage of people that watch past 3 seconds. In Facebook, you can create campaigns, or custom audiences, I should say, where you can say you can target people 3 seconds and above, and you can segment that, right? But the first 3 seconds always has the most, because everyone's going to see it for 2 seconds. Oh yeah, moving on. You know, most people don't like ads. You want the ad to really have a great hook that really gets people in, because if you get past that 3 seconds, my gosh, it makes a huge difference to your results that you get, whatever business model you have. So you'll see most advertisers have a 90% drop off within the first few seconds. That's just how it is, whether it's an advertiser or a content creator, okay, anything online, as I sort of said with YouTube as well. So focus on improving those first 3 seconds, right? If you have a creative that's converting, and especially it's a video, image, you can't really do it. You can sort of split test with images and try different image variations, but videos, as I said, I'm going to focus on, which are the main thing. That's, you know, everything has to be reels nowadays and really get people in really strong. So here's a bit of a strategy that I sort of use that I'm really starting to do. I'm starting to build a creative team that just focuses on this, because it's not my absolute forte. I'm more focused on the marketing, doing the script and building the outline. That you plan 2 full-length video ads, record 10 different hooks. Right, so you might even get like an actor or something if you're not comfortable or something like that. You can find them. There's plenty of, you can use, I've forgotten what it's called. There's a website where you can find people locally, just to hire for a day, spend a little bit of money, and they can do it if they're, you know, obviously up to scratch. Different locations, different outfits, different props, and different angles, backgrounds, right? A lot of the time, what I generally focus on is the different angles and backgrounds. And what I mean by angle is a different sort of text, what they're sort of saying at the start. So what I would do is I actually, for each of these, I do 2 to 3 of each. So I'll try the same script in 2 or 3 locations. I will try different outfits in with the same script in the same location. I will try different props with the same script. I will try different angles and backgrounds with the same script, because you want to keep, again, the video the same, but you want these sort of different hooks in the beginning. So you're sort of doing real sort of split testing of this first. And again, I'm not saying your hook is only 3 seconds. Your hook can be 30 seconds, but you really want that first 3 seconds to be really important. So when you're making the script as well, think about keywords that touch on key touch points of what you're trying to do, right? I've found that these days there's so much marketing in that now. What people want to see is they've seen so many ads, they know all these things. Be blunt, right? This is just another ad, la la la. I find that touching on the fact that people hate ads, that people hate getting marketed to generally, that there's so many players in the space, touch on that and make it funny, make it comedic, right? I find that these days, the best ads are the ones that don't really feel like an ad, do that. You know, when you're watching this YouTube video, that it shouldn't feel like an ad, should it? You know, people want organic. So you want something that's organic, that's funny, that touches on key points. So that's why you spend a lot more time on 2 big creatives and then make all these hooks. And then you can just keep making hooks and more hooks. And the cool thing as well as hooks is if you have a video editor, you can the hooks can be just doing some other AI related stuff as well down the line too. So just keep that in mind. But again, get them all separately. Make sure as much as possible, record using mobile format and desktop, but mobile as your main focus. And make sure they're recorded in the highest quality possible. I've got here a Sony a6600 camera that I use that records in full native 4K HD, and I've got a microphone there, and I've got lighting, and I've got some that I sort of, you know, go out on the field with and will use it. The higher quality is, the better. And if you're using a camera, you can just change the orientation, right? So you can just sort of change that. So here's some, again, examples. Same outfit, but change the direction you're facing. A new background. Move to different parts in the house, gym, warehouse, outdoors, garden, indoors versus outdoors. All props like whiteboards, laptops, phones. So, you know, most of us that are going to this extent, you can do this at home. And if you don't have a camera, because that camera costs like $3,000, you still can use your phone quite well. Your phones are really, really good. I strongly recommend getting something like a DJI. That's what I use. I find that they're extremely useful. It's also got I can't remember what these are called, but you can attach it to it so when you're outside, so you don't get all the wind noise as well, but extremely portable, so you can use that and a phone. And most phones nowadays have pretty damn good cameras in them, and I strongly recommend just getting like a phone stand, one that can elevate quite high, so you could even do it yourself as well. Okay, so just keep that in mind as well. The more unique you're creative and the more comedic it is that sort of touches on key points, the more people engage. And then for video editing, as I said, you can use tools like Adobe Premiere. You've got CapCut is a very popular one these days, Camtasia, or you can hire a video editor. I'm not big on video editing. I use a video editor. So here's some verbal hooks styles to use. Yes questions. Do you struggle to get your Facebook ads to work? So if I was running a digital marketing agency and I was running an ad to you, are you struggling to figure out how your Facebook ads work? Ask a question. You're like, yes it is. Or a conditional statement. If you're spending, because me as an agency, I want to target my ICP. Again, a keyword here, ICP stands for Ideal Customer Profile. So, what this is doing is this is removing anyone under 100K. If you're spending 100K, we can guarantee a 30% uplift in your ROAS, or you pay nothing at all. And even on top of that, we'll give you $1,000 back. That's such a hook, isn't it? And so you sort of get my point, right? And you have to know your community and you have to know what they want, right? If a digital marketing agency, for example, that's why I have videos on firing a digital marketing agency. Digital marketing agencies, I could find one in like a split second. They're everywhere, right? There's this, and they're very expensive. So you just got to keep that in mind and focus and play in on that. That's why King Kong does well. He runs a digital marketing agency that does Facebook ads, Google ads, and so on and so forth. And he focuses actually on all the stuff people hate about agencies and makes it funny. Remember, social proof is another one as well as an example. See how this mum lost 50 kilos with no exercise. Who wouldn't want that, to just sit down and lose weight? That's an ideal thing, right? That most people would have because they're busy, they don't have time, they don't have the energy, they don't have the desire. You touch on that, right? And that's something that, like, let's say you're selling, that'll be a product. The second one would be an agency. And mix and match verbal and visual, right? So 200 unique ad variations, right? That's an exaggeration. You don't have to do that many. I would say 10 to 20. And it doesn't take that long. Once you make the two long ones, making these 15, 30-second additional ones might take 2-3 hours to do. And then, because you have this base one, you just cut a part of the front and add this on. At times, what you even, because obviously, you'll want to make sure to cut a part of your video first and add your new hook. But again, that's sort of up to you. It depends how your ad flows, but you always want to be making sure to add that. Here's just a few things that I sort of do. In one filming session, you can knock out 10 hooks in 10 locations. The 10 locations could be literally different rooms in your house. It could be the front yard, backyard. It could go to a playground. Doesn't matter. I see so many ads where in just such random places. I've seen ads of digital marketing agency where they're sitting on a fishing boat, just try and do something out of the ordinary, right? And 2 base video bodies can equal a total of 200 ads. And that usually could last you 6 months. So 2 good creatives where you're really touching on the key points and making it, as I said, try and make it funny. Don't make it like, hey, you want to buy this product. Be upbeat, be enthusiastic, make it funny, be confident. All comes through because people want to see that. They want to see entertainment. If you think about, like, on Netflix, do you go on Netflix to watch something that's, like a documentary, right? Documentaries are a plain example that they do a lot of editing to keep you engaged as possible, right? They jump from this person to that person, this person. It keeps you hooked. And you have to sort of do the same when you're doing the creatives. So again, do a lot of research, find your ICP, understand their pain points, touch on that in the first 3 seconds and do it different ways. It could be just simply in the same location with different words. Like, as I said, like with this social proof. Let me think of one off the top of my head. Want to lose weight without any work? Lose weight easily. Lose weight easily in 3 months. There we go, something like that, right? So you can sort of see, what we're doing there. Like the last one is lose weight easily in 3 months. Who doesn't want that? Transform your body in 3 months from this to this. That's why there's so many in the, especially like the fitness space, so many before and after, right? Social proof. This solves the ad fatigue, so hook fatigue. It doesn't cost you anything, so then you can scale faster. You just then don't need to spend a lot on this as well. And they're unique creatives. People scroll because I've seen this before. And changing the hook lets you extend the life. So you might spend, you know, I don't know how much you would spend, but you don't have to spend much. Once you have a camera and everything, it really doesn't cost much. Just get a mate or something and spend half a day, and you might buy lunch. You know, we're talking $50 for all these creatives that could last you 6 months and scale you to the moon. Remember, people just want something nice. And as I said, if you're using, I recommend doing some good video editing and hiring a video editor if you don't know, as well. Or learning it, there's plenty of videos online anyway. And then there's also, as a bonus tip, you can also, once you have a winning creative, you can actually start to do a different CTA at the end. So at the end, if you've got a number of hooks that are working well, try a different CTA, because you're getting them to the end of the video and then you want to say, oh, what CTA is working? And by CTA is, hey, shop now, or click to learn more. And you could do the same as a hook at the end. What do you do? I've seen ads where it's just sitting there and someone's like, well, what are you doing? Why haven't you clicked this ad? Come on, get going. And it's sort of like breaking the third wall, you know, type of thing. So think about that too, but that's sort of at least not until you're scaling at like probably 1,000 a day in terms of ad spend. And learn and iterate. Always analyze what hook is working best and make similar ones, right? And as I said, it could be literally, once you find what hook's working well, what I do is I use the same wording, and I might do it with a different person. Okay, I might do it in a different location. I'll just write down a heap of hooks. You can use like ChatGPT or something to come up with a heap of ideas, and there you go, heap of new hooks, and there you go. And what you're doing is you're iterating on those hooks and making them even better and extending it even further. So a few things, I should have taken that part out. ChatGPT, I forgot, missed that part. Don't waste time overthinking perfection. Just do a heap of hooks. You will be absolutely amazed. I'm absolutely amazed when I make YouTube videos, what videos do well and what some do bad. If you look at my channel, I'm not a big YouTuber, right? But you look at the fact that some of my videos that I thought would be by far the least interesting are actually doing the best for me, right? And then it's the same with, I see with ads and that too, that sometimes you're like, look, how's this going to do well? But it just does. You just have to don't focus on perfection, just focus on, all right, let's give it a shot, move on. And this is a very cheap, easy and fast way of doing it. Just produce 2 core ads again, volume testing. Really easy, duplicate it, don't change the copy. The copy and everything doesn't make it. It really is these days, it's just the video, hence why we're talking about the hook, both at the start and end, but 95% at the start. And I just wanted to again say, I hope this has been helpful. Again, this is in the description. You use it as you see fit. I hope this has been helpful. If you did like today's video, be sure to like, share, subscribe. I've got more Facebook ads videos coming. I'm really enjoying this. I'm seeing the feedback that people are enjoying more around the Facebook ad side, and I really just sort of enjoy doing it. I hope you are enjoying the better production value. I'm trying to improve that there. Otherwise, thank you very much for your time. Have a lovely day. Take care and goodbye.